You're listening to a proud member of the FightFans Radio Network.
What's going on, everybody? We are back. Sorry about the mishap last week. It will not happen again, I'll tell you that much. I'm here, as usual, with the one and only...
Jer. What's going on?
Not much, man. What's up with you?
Living the life.
Living the dream. So, everyone, I'm the host, Real DWC, a.k.a. David Carroll. You can follow me on Twitter, Real DWC. You can follow me at the BJJ Addict. Also, you can follow Jer at
Jerwall PD. I'll let you figure that out. Yeah. And also the our new Twitter account for the BJJ Addict.
Yeah.
It's called the BJJ Addict Radio.
That's it. Just type that in. Also, FightFans Radio. Go like all our Facebooks, please. You can just type in our names, FightFans Radio or BJJ Addict, to like it. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channels. Very easy. Once again, just click in. Type in BJJ Addict, you'll see it. Check out our shows after they're live. We will be on iTunes. You can go there, subscribe, rate our show. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, Real DWC. I'm on Instagram. Come check out the photos I take. Usually it's about nonsense. Are you on there?
Yeah, I am.
We talked about this last week, actually, or 2 weeks ago. But yeah, man, I like posting pics.
I like taking pictures of
I'm not deep, though.
Neither.
Mine are stupid. They've been like free beverages, Scrabble game. That's my favorite game, by the way, Scrabble.
Really?
I'd kill you at that.
Probably. English is not my first language. Is Scrabble only English?
Yeah.
Well.
We might alter the rules so you have a chance.
Dude, I think Scrabble would be hard with the Chinese language.
Oh, it'd be impossible.
It'd be like 5,000 different letters that you gotta...
But the points would be incredible.
It would be.
But... Where did you come up with that?
I don't know.
All right, guys. So today, calling in very soon, we have Pete Roberts, who I guess I thought he was a BJJ brown belt, but it turns out I see him with a black belt on. He got awarded, so we're gonna find out when that happened. Also, this man, owns and operates Origin BJJ, the gi company.
I love their gi company.
They're beautiful gis. Also, BJJ WEEKLY, which is an unreal newsletter. I learned a good leg sweep from Megatone off that. Also, he has his own BJJ school. So he's got a lot going on, not only as a practitioner of jiu-jitsu, but also a businessman. So it's going to be cool to see that.
He's very involved, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Someone,
I like his matches on YouTube there.
Yeah.
And what is it? When he...
Rolling Reflection.
Rolling Reflection.
We just saw the one with Zonde before we came on the air.
Yeah. Good
match. I mean, to go with someone with that caliber and a living legend, I personally think I'd be a little nervous.
I would be too.
But he seemed pretty composed. So before we get on to finding out what the heck you've been up to lately, and myself, a couple announcements. I don't know if we already said it, but Keenan Cornelius was awarded his brown belt a week or two after we had the podcast with him. So I thought that was good news.
Finally.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was well earned, obviously.
Yeah.
Ricardo Amendolia, who was also on our podcast, just got awarded his black belt from the Mendes brothers. Could you imagine being handed it from those two guys? Like, there's no way to give it away.
You're a black belt under them. That's pretty sick.
I don't think they have too many underneath them already, as far as the affiliate schools go. So,
do you know anybody else
that got it from them? No, not personally. I know of black belts under them, but I don't know of people literally got their black belt handed to them from the Mendes brothers.
I know one.
Yeah.
Ricardo. I tricked you.
That's a good one. Also, Robert Drysdale.
Beautiful.
Crazy armbar. A minute 27 in the first round. His fourth MMA fight. Fourth win. Fourth finish in the first round. That's unreal.
It is.
I mean, I'm waiting for him. He's building up his career nice. I'm waiting to see him fight some crazier guys, but I love people that have that caliber of jiu-jitsu and goes and shows it at MMA. It's very hard, but he does it every time.
Yeah.
Segue. Vinny.
Magalhães?
Yes, thank you, because I would have butchered that name again. Back in the UFC, supposedly. I see these things swirling around that he just got signed and picked up.
I wonder how his hands are. I mean, is he still a grappler or is he like MMA now?
Well, what would you rather see from him? Because I want to see him get in there. I want to see him go in there and rip somebody apart with some crazy submissions.
Yeah. I want to see his jiu-jitsu put to work. I think, what is he, light heavy?
I'm not sure what he's going to fight at, but yeah, I assume it's light heavy.
If he's light heavy, there's not a lot of good jiu-jitsu guys. Well, there are, but I mean, for his caliber, it's pretty strong jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I was pumped when I heard this. You?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I heard it today from you, so.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his.
The last time I saw him in the UFC was, I think, the Ultimate Fighter, was it?
Yeah, I saw him fight live, actually. Yeah, he fought, I forget which UFC. It was in Montreal. It was right after that. I saw him fight Elliot Marshall, I think. It was not a great fight to spectate, that was for sure. But you know what? Sometimes when two guys have good jiu-jitsu, it ends up being a kickboxing match. Also, the past weekend, there was a Strikeforce event. I'm not too sure if anyone even knew it or watched it. But a good thing came out of it was Roger Gracie beats Keith Jardine, and he looks more complete than ever as far as MMA goes.
Yeah, Keith Jardine is a very awkward fighter, so it's pretty...
That's a big test, though, for someone who's like 3-4, 4-1 or something.
I'm surprised, honestly. Is Keith Jardine still with the... What's his name?
Greg Jackson.
Greg Jackson.
I'm not too sure on that, to be honest. But Roger Gracie, though, was at the Black House, which is obviously, I mean...
Nogueira brothers.
Nogueira brothers, Anderson, Lyoto. I mean, so he looked very complete as far as being an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Do I want to see him be a jiu-jitsu guy? Yeah, I would. I'd like to see him go in there and also get some subs. To be honest, I really enjoy the guys that cross over and show their jiu-jitsu, even though everyone knows that's what they're going to go for, so it's easy to kind of prepare for it. But
especially Gracie.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I was pretty disappointed with I think the last fighter I saw compete in MMA was Royce Gracie.
Really?
With Matt User.
Yeah, okay. That was Henzo. About the last Henzo fight or all the way back to Royce? That was UFC 60. That was a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah?
Yeah. At least somebody's keeping the Gracie name alive.
Preserved in MMA?
Yeah.
He's going to be probably, I think he has potential to be
a champion.
One of the biggest stars in MMA. Personally.
I want to see him go to the UFC, actually. It'd be pretty sick if Hodger went into the UFC.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up to him. That's
exactly up to him. Let's get into, I mean, last week we didn't have the podcast.
Yeah.
We still hung out, and it was a sad day. We were lost.
I was lost. So were you, I think. We were trying to find something to do, you know.
And?
I don't know, it's just...
We went to the mall as usual.
Yeah. What else did we do?
Oh, man. We saw Abe Lincoln.
Oh, Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
It was awesome. I don't know if you guys out there liked it, but man, I thought it was a badass movie.
We're gonna become movie reviewers.
4 years and 7 scores ago. You know,
our brothers. I don't know. I'm not American.
Get the armbar, Jay.
What was it? What was the thing you made up?
I can't remember.
4 tournaments and
7 submissions ago. No, but like. Here I'm going in expecting nothing. Like it looked kind of like another vampire movie.
Honestly, I didn't want to watch it. I was rooting for the Spider-Man, but when we got there, it was packed. All little teenage kids, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't see one adult.
Well, they probably thought maybe there'd be like a Twilight moment, but this Abe Lincoln is no.
Because Abe Lincoln in the movie is horrible. Like he looks horrible.
He's not a heartthrob.
He looks like Abe Lincoln.
I don't even know who Abe Lincoln was before I saw this movie.
See, the thing is, I was talking to you about it.
Yeah.
When I watched the movie, I don't know much about American history, but I know a little bit about, this and that. But when I watched the movie, I started to question, like, what was true and what
Hold on. Guys, Jared actually stopped during the movie and asked me, did this really happen? Someone, like a couple people beside me, started laughing their head off. Like, Abe Lincoln, did this really happen? Did he fight vampires?
I don't know. You never know, man. I don't know.
Just ridiculous. So, also, we got in some, leg drags last week again.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
Still strong on it.
Yeah, I did a tournament this weekend, guys. Didn't win a match. Didn't get a point. Very disappointing. Did not pull off a leg drag. I mean, the list of didn't compared to do's is much longer. So we're gonna talk to Pete about how you get the competition mode up. I know we ask everyone, but this is stuff I want to hear from every different person.
I think we should start asking.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to learn. I want to learn things that they're doing and compare it to what, let's say, I don't know, Dave Camarillo might do something different with Pete Roberts or.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, every person does something a little different. And I like to steal little things here and there.
So I guess what we want is to extract a little bit of, knowledge from these guys that we ourselves and the listeners could go home and think about,
Oh, exactly.
That's
exactly. It took Dave Camarillo, though, to finally realize, like, we should be drilling a bit more.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, what's happening, fellas?
Pete, how you doing? Welcome to the BJJ Addict Radio Show.
Hey, thank you. I've been listening for a little bit here, so I got on about 5 minutes ago, so I figured it was my cue to jump on.
Yeah, you got the cue, eh? So
yeah, I got it.
The people listening right now, if they're not familiar with you, can you just let us know, just a little bit about you, like a quick summary?
Yeah, sure, man. I was like an athlete in high school and college, and I found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I got out of college a few years after. Fell in love with it and seemed to consume my life. With that, obviously caused a little bit of annoyance with my wife from time to time until I took it to the Worlds back in 2008, 2009, I think it was, and she fell in love with Gracie and Jiu-Jitsu all at the same time. So she's on board. And obviously, how busy I am, all the traveling I do, you got to have a spouse who's going to be on board with you to be able to handle all the crap they have to handle while I'm out gallivanting around the globe. So I live here in Maine. For those of you who don't know, it is not part of Massachusetts. It's in the Northeast, above Massachusetts, and yeah. So I train. Here, I travel to Boston to train with my instructor, Andre DeDeco Almeida, and travel there. Try to get down there every week. So I put a lot of miles on the car getting down there. So yeah, BJJ is my life. I think about it 24/7, 365. Eat, sleep, dream, BJJ. So that's about it in a nutshell.
What keeps you motivated to keep training jiu-jitsu for as long as you have?
What keeps me motivated? The thing with jiu-jitsu is it's always evolving. It seems like day to day, week to week, the game is evolving. And what really interests me, of course, I always have had an athletic outlet. The thing with jiu-jitsu is it's not just like you don't have to be an athlete to do it. As a matter of fact, I don't really think it matters if you're an athlete or not when you do jiu-jitsu, because it's such a technical sport, and I'm really into the sport side of jiu-jitsu. So I think that keeps me engaged, because I get a great workout, and I also think that the mental side, the kind of that aspect of the game, when you're sweating and breathing and and you need to think about the next move or what your opponent's doing, how to escape or how to progress. It's just such a challenge, and it's addicting. It's funny because I was trying to get my brother into it for years, and he finally decided to take a class. He lives over in Oregon. He took a class with Roy Dean, and now he's 8 months in, and it's all he thinks about. And I told him, I'm like, Jake, my brother's Jake. I'm like, make sure you don't let it consume your life, because it will, Like, if you can make it your career, great, but most people don't make it their career. I'm just one of the lucky ones. So it's an addiction for sure.
I think it's super hard to prepare for something as magical as jiu-jitsu and to fit it into your life.
Yeah, I mean, people don't understand. It's like when I try to tell my friends about it who don't train. Most of my circle of friends now they train. So that's who I pretty much keep in touch with. But those who don't train, it's like, why do I want to roll in the mat in my pajamas with a bunch of dudes? It's like, well, and I think that's a response a lot of guys probably get. They just don't understand being in the moment, grappling, and it's mano a mano, and it's not all about competing and submitting each other, but it's such a challenge, it's such a challenge to move from position and to transition to position, to have to play defense, and then you obviously remember, everybody remembers their first time getting submitted, right? It's like that, and that's I think what I tell people when they start training, because I have my own school also. It's like you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It's like there's no in between. You either love jiu-jitsu or it's just not for you. And the first time I got choked out, my first night in class, I was just like, I am going to own this sport. Like I made a commitment. Like this is what I'm all about, and I centered my whole life around it. So, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Yeah, it did. Pete, you mentioned you have if it sounds like there's two guys here, there is, by the way.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Just so you know, you mentioned your own school. I believe it's called Ethos BJJ. Let people know what that means to you, and perhaps how they could train with you, and just kind of maybe like what's your intentions on giving Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to people. What your philosophies would be on it.
Yeah, my school is Ethos. I come from, this is going to sound kind of corny, but I come from, my family's from Sparta. My great grandparents immigrated. My great grandma actually died a couple years back. She was 104, I believe, and she was from Sparta. So the Spartan, helmet, the Spartan head, and ethos. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys to figure out what that means. Listening, but that's my school, Ethos Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I pulled some of my heritage into the name and methodology of my school. My philosophy, like we're a sport-oriented school. Mostly gi, also some no gi. We only have one no gi class per week. But we're a sport-oriented school and a competition-based school. Now, when I say that, doesn't mean everybody in the school competes. But everybody in the school trains at a level, that level, that pace, that speed. We're not really kind of. I wouldn't say we're like a lifestyle, not a lifestyle. We are a lifestyle school, but we're not like a. How do I want to explain it? Put it this way. Every night we're going to do 5 or 6 10-minute rounds back to back. No break. Right, so we're training hard, we're training at high pace, we're trying to make each other better. So that's kind of like we bring a lot of energy into my school. A lot of people training hard, real good camaraderie, friendly environment, men and women, boys and girls. So it's nice. If someone wants to train with me or train at my school, hop on ethosbjj.com, grab the address, shoot down, and come train. I'm also in Boston, usually once a week. So anybody that's around the East Coast listening, if you're in, Connecticut, one of my training partners is Rafael Formiga Barbosa. I sometimes travel down to Connecticut to his school in Cromwell. But my instructor is in Rockland, right south of Boston. So they can come and jump in. We do a team, kind of a team training every Friday. So if anybody wants to jump in on that, just shoot me an email, and you can find my email address online. We'd love to have you. So even if you just want to come watch, it's fine too.
So you're descendant of Sparta. We're just wondering here, do you have 300 students?
I wish. Actually, I don't wish. That would be a headache. I do not have 300 students. I live, in a very small town. I think there's like 500 people in the town I live in. That's on the outskirts of a little bit bigger town where there's only, I think, 8 or 10,000 people. So I have a big space but a small school. So. My class size is only maybe 15 guys. Sorry, my email's going crazy, guys. This is probably like 15 guys, on the mat, a night. So I don't have 300 students.
I was gonna promote this earlier, and as I was doing it, I realized I'm writing a brown belt, and then I see pics of you receiving a black belt. When did this happen, Pete?
Yeah, so this happened not too long ago. We had a seminar at my school. My professor, Dedeco, came up. Another one of my very good friends and teachers, Alexei Cruz, he came up. He was De La Riva's first black belt, from white to black. De La Riva gave out a black belt before him, but from white to black. So they came up for a seminar. Dedeco did a seminar. And he actually presented the black belt to me, and they both said a little something, made me cry in front of all my students, tears of joy, of course. We have a real good family atmosphere. It's very, it was emotional, for everybody, everybody there. But Dedeco actually took his belt off that he received from Ricardo Laborio and strapped on me. And, Dedeco, he has over, I want to say 50 black belts. And only one other time has he taken his belt off and strapped it on a student, and that was on Formiga 10 years ago. So that's what really got me, and it was a super honor to receive that from him. So, yeah, so I've been a black belt for a week, and I can't even train because I got a bummed disc in my back, a bulging disc, so I'm dealing with that issue right now. But
congratulations on the black belt. I'm sorry to hear about the disc.
Oh no, the black belt makes up for it. It's awesome. I'm excited to jump into to every black belt competition on the planet at this point. I'm ready to go. I got some super motivation here. So yeah.
Well, getting your black belt right before that this year, a big year for you. You win the trials in the Montreal.
Yep.
Went to the Abu Dhabi Pro. We just watched your Rolling Reflections crazy match with Zonde. By the way, it was good. And you competed at the Worlds, and you did really well. I'm not gonna lie, I was yelling at the screen when you were jumping all over Willie Leonard there.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah.
Correct.
You know what I love about competition is, the I know the crowd exploded when I did. I don't even know what the hell I did. Some flying turtle attack or something, and I waited a little too long to make my move on Willie. I arm dragged him into side control. He was a D1 wrestler. I don't know if he was an All-American wrestler, but he totally, he totally read it, and I got a pretty good guard, and it's if I'm really fighting, you guys get to see in the Rolling Reflections videos, we're going like really easy, but we're going 100%. I got a pretty decent guard, and ending up in side control, I had to, the Deco tells me, Pete, if you ever end up in a position, you're in the middle of a fight, and you feel like you're playing defense, and you feel like you're frustrated, he said, you got to hit the reset button. You got to hit that reset button and then start the match. So I started the match within the match, and that's when I exploded and just decided to turn the tides. I just couldn't get my second hook in to win the match, and I had over a minute to get it. So what I was going to say was my wife kept it real. She was pissed. She was just like, what did you do? Like, how did you lose that match? Like, she gives me no slack. She's so competitive. And Alexei was there coaching me, and he just like, after the match, he's like, hey man, you didn't play your game, you lost, it's your own fault. So like, they're not like bumming on me like that I lost, but it's like, hey, like, there's no congratulations, for losing in the quarterfinals. You know, the only guy that gets congratulations are the ones standing on the podium. So, you know, that just motivates me to get back to work and do something more. So, you know, there's no easy road if you want to get to the top, that's for sure.
Now that you got your black belt, looking back through all your belts, what's the most difficult belt stage that, you know, you've ever worn?
Blue belt was the most difficult for me, and I'll tell you why. Let me see here. I fought at blue belt in 2008 in the Worlds, and I lost my third or fourth match, and there was a huge division. And I came back the next year, and I, you know, I got sandbagged a little bit, but like I still had my blue belt on. You know, I talked to my coach, and it's just like, let's take another stab at this. I fought a kid, Perry Briggs. He's from Lloyd Irvins. He's a big guy. He's been to Abu Dhabi this year. He went last year. And Perry and I fought our first round, and I beat him, and I fought my second round, and I was totally wasted. And I lost, and I don't even want to talk about it, you know, how the worlds go sometimes. You know, you never can blame it on a call. I didn't do what I needed to do to win. And I was so disappointed. I mean, like broken, like mentally, physically broken, you know, because I was there to win the world. Like that was my year. I was so close the year before. Like that was my year. I stepped back from competition for an entire year. Like I didn't compete. I had no, like I was a little bit scared to jump back in and compete. I was nervous, you know, and you know, I just didn't know what to do. So I had this blue belt on, you know, I was still training, you know, training hard, not as hard as I train now, but you know, I thought it was hard, and you know, and really, you know, it really wasn't that hard when I look back at it. And it's all relative, you know. You're a product of your environment. So, anyways, I was training, and I ended up getting my purple belt. And I hadn't really won anything at blue belt. Not that matters to get promoted, because it really doesn't. But to me, it did. For me personally, for my goals, it mattered. And so I had the purple belt on, and I didn't tell anybody. I drove down to New Jersey, my wife and I jumped into the Abu Dhabi trials in New Jersey, and I ended up winning them at purple belt. And my division, and then the open division, I blew my knee out in the semifinals of the open division. And they only gave one ticket out, the purple belt, so I couldn't continue in the competition. You know, and that was really what put me back on track, was that competition, getting out there, making it happen. And I saw Perry at that competition. He was still a blue belt. He had taken a whole year off too, because he was like a favorite to win that world championship at blue belt too. So, you know, sometimes matchups just happen. So we fought first round, and Perry won he won the trials. And I saw him after, and we went up to each other. We gave each other a hug, and he goes, you know, and I think what he said to me was like, man, he's like, you made me not compete for a whole year. That was his first competition back from his fight with me, and it was my first competition back with my fight with him. So it was funny. It put us both back on track. It was a pretty cool situation. So blue belt for me. Long story short, blue belt was the toughest.
I hear you. Me and Jared here are both blue belts, and you literally sometimes do get the blues.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's you know, I don't know where this came from, but I was always told, like, you know, 85% of people who make it to blue belt never make it to purple belt. So, like, basically 15 out of 100 people who make it to blue belt will make it to purple belt. That's a real low number. It's a real tough belt.
What do you think? 85.
What's that? 85%. That's the statistic I've always, you know, heard from many different people. And I don't know where that statistic comes from. It just comes from, if you look at your school, how many people actually will get the purple belt and how many people drop off. You know, kind of get caught up in the mix. So, yeah, that's what I've heard. And honestly, if you if you ask your instructor, ask him, he'll probably say, yeah, not he could probably say like, oh, I've had 1,000 guys come through the school the past 5 years, and look at how many students are in the school, then look at how many purple belts there are in the school. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, I know at least a handful of people that quit, not even after A1, after their blue belt test. They just stopped doing it. They just want to get their blue. They're happy.
Right. Yep. They're happy to think they've achieved it, and that's really not even, that's just getting a blue belt is just like a little bit of motivation to move on and a lot of learning to get to the next level. It's a tough one. And I look at purple belt like, purple belt, if you make it to purple belt, you're going to get a black belt. That's how I look at it. Like, I don't think that anybody that gets a purple belt will drop off normally. There's going to be a small percentage, but a purple belt is like, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to getting my black belt. So
do it or don't do it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Origin BJJ.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let me tell you, first of all, just let people in on your, so this is a gi company you own. Not only gis, you have actually clothing, Prodigy gis for kids. Let us know a little bit about this.
Yeah, Origin is my baby. It's where a lot of my passion goes into this company. We make gi. It started with like I'm a creative person. I'm an artist and a designer, and sometimes you overflow with creativity, and I put that creativity, sometimes through pencil and paper or paint and canvas, which I haven't done for a super long time. But most of the time, through my mouse, through the computer, I let that kind of creativity flow. And I came up with this idea for Origin a few years back, I think in 2008 or 2009, and I kind of put it on the back burner. I owned a new media company, and I was running that new media company, and I had a bunch of employees and whatnot, and just didn't have time to really start another company. But I sold the new media part of the company and had a little time to think, and decided to resurrect my initial idea of Origin. I released like a limited gi to see how people would respond to the brand, and we had a wicked good response. So I just told my wife, what I was going to do, and she just shakes her head, and I ran with it, and it's kind of exploded. It's I don't know how other brands are growing, but I know how Origin's doing, and we're growing explosively, around the world, and I had some products that I wanted to bring to market, this idea for the grip training device, the Oranga hang, and we have our Mundial backpack, just like different products that I felt like, our industry needed, and I'd worked for, my new media company worked with like different brands, we used to work with, like Rosagnovsky Company, Dina Star, Roxy, Quicksilver, and other outdoor hunting, fishing brands. A lot of sport-based brands, basically, whether it was a consumptive or non-consumptive sport. A lot of sport brands, and so I had an idea how to tackle marketing this thing, and of course, the success of BJJ Weekly just helped catapult Origin, kind of into cyberspace and everybody's inbox, So that's kind of how I launched the brand. But yeah, it's my baby. It's what I work on pretty much all day, every day when I'm not training. And developing new products or developing, testing products, testing ideas. I have so many ideas. It's just it's ridiculous. Like I want to change the technology, used in the products we use. I want I want to create new products to assist us in traveling and training, and and I don't want to give anything away, but I'm always thinking, I'm always kind of conjuring up new ideas and prototyping them and testing them. So yeah.
Large. I like that. I got the 2012 Comp 550, the white and orange.
Yep.
Wicked gi, by the way. Beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
I see you mentioned all also. By the way, man, your gis have infested the dojo I'm at. Just so you know, they're so. I take it you guys got you're moving into Canada. Are you
Yep.
other places also?
Yeah, we're in Canada. We have a distributor in Canada. It's Origin, BJJ.ca, as in Canada. And you can order now through their website, and they stock all the products. We have distribution in the UK, handled by Brad Waldron. He's a jiu-jitsu guy over there, really nice guy, and that's origin-uk.com. So you can order through Brad. We have distribution in Australia, Chile, Japan, Germany. I don't even know. Everywhere, pretty much. The only place we haven't hit yet is Brazil. And I think that's mostly because of the language barrier. But we're gonna open that up and crank on that, nice. In the months to come. So, it's nice because everybody, this is all kind of, we didn't have to do a lot of like going out and trying to reach distributors. Most of them came to us, and I formulated a relationship with the person before we actually would agree on them being able to represent Origin in their respective country. So it's growing, and it's awesome, man. I'm super stoked, excited. We started building a new warehouse up here in Maine. It's going to be like a warehouse training facility, and we'll have a bunch of mat space, 2,300 square feet of mat space, and a couple thousand square feet for the warehouse, and we'll have a little efficiency where we can bring experts up for BJJ Weekly and film, or if someone wants to come train, they can stay there. So it's kind of this cool space. So.
Pete, can we come train with you down there?
You absolutely can come train. Absolutely, anytime. Just let me know once it's finished. Hopefully, it'll be finished in the fall, and at that point, absolutely.
Buy my ticket. I watched a bunch of your YouTube videos, your rolling reflections.
Yep.
All the BJJ grapplers that you've ever fought or grappled with, who's someone that stood out the most to you, that was one of your favorites?
All right. There's two guys, all right, that absolutely impressed me, and I've rolled with a lot. I'm saying a lot of guys. There's actually three guys. There's a recent one too. The first one, obviously, what am I going to say?
Marcelo
Garcia. All right, Marcelo Garcia is a freak. All right, he grips your arm with one hand, and it feels like your arm's stuck in a vice, and that is no joke. He doesn't lift weights. He's genetically built for his style. Hamid Obral is built for his style. He stretches people out with De La Hiva. Rafael Lovato Jr. is built for his style. Cyborg's built for his style. Marcelo is so in tune with his body mechanics, the biomechanics, of his body, and he has like superhuman grip strength, and he's just so far ahead of the game. And I'm really specifically talking no-gi here. He's so far ahead of the game, it's ridiculous. So Marcelo really stands out to me. And we rolled hard. Like, if you watch our rolling reflections, that was like one of the only like 100% rolls I've ever been able to do for our rolling reflections. Like, Marcelo's like, let's go. He's like, let's train. I started training, and I was like, I'm with everybody. I kind of like, I play possum, and I play defense, and they do whatever they want to me, and I just try to play defense, you know, and if they want to submit me 10 times, they submit me 10 times. Well, Marcelo, I kind of played possum, he jumped on me, and then he's like, let's train. And I was like, I like this guy. So we trained. The next guy that I ran that really impressed me was the Deco, and the Deco's now my instructor. So you see how that went. I met the Deco, and we filmed him for Expert of the Month, and we did the rolling reflections, and I just felt like I didn't know jiu-jitsu. Like he was so far ahead of me, you know, it was ridiculous. And he competes a little bit, you know, here and there now, but we started formulating a relationship after I trained with him, and he ended up becoming my instructor like a year later. I actually brought him in. My a very good friend of mine, my old instructor, Aaron Blake. You know, he went under the Deco's flag, and then eventually when I decided to kind of like, you know, I wanted to be a fight as a world-class competitor, I went under the Deco. I was traveling down there every week, and Aaron he let me go and do that. So the Deco, what people don't understand is like this guy, you know, like he didn't lose a match, have a point scored on him from white to black belt, right? Didn't have a point scored on him. His first time he lost, he was a black belt. So, like he's kind of a freak of nature for a big guy at 270 pounds. You know, the guy is he can like put his legs behind his head. He's so flexible, and he's so strong, and he knows how to use his body, and like he can do it like a cartwheel pass and look like he's 150 pounds. So if you ever get a chance to train with this guy, man, and actually he's gonna be headlining our immersion camp for BJJ Weekly. What's that?
So I'll let you get to that right after you name the third person.
Third person, all right, is JT Torres.
Woo!
JT, first of all, I was just talking to him on the phone earlier today. You know, we touch base, you know, maybe once a month we get on the horn and chat with each other. We really hit it off over in Abu Dhabi. We got to spend 10 days together. And he's a great guy, you know, great person, great guy. But his jiu-jitsu's off the hook. His grip strength is ridiculous. He kind of reminds me of like Marcelo in the gi, right? So you got Marcelo, you know, no gi, you know, and then you got like JT in the gi, and JT will be the black belt world champion. Mark my words, that kid's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. He is super talented, and he's still a young black belt, you know. So, but JT, his athleticism and his grip strength, you know, the strength in his legs when he stretches you out of a De La Hiva, his speed, his stamina. But what makes him so dangerous is his mind. That kid's mind is so strong, you can feel it. You know what I mean? Like the kid, you can't break him. And if you go watch his matches, see if anybody's ever actually broken JT. I've never seen him quit. I've never seen him be broken. But you know what they say, 90% mental, 10% physical. JT's a little bit of a freak of nature in his own right. So those three guys really impressed me.
Saying that he's you know, the Marcelo of the gi. That's a huge compliment. I'm a huge JT fan. I was actually happy you named him in your top 3. Let's talk about your immersions camp with your coach Andre Dedeco Almeida and Formiga. I can't say it for
Formiga. Yeah, Rafael Formiga Barbosa.
All right, so people in on this. This is brought to you by yourself, BJJ Weekly, BJJweekly.com. By the way, people check this out. My favorite. I love it when I check my emails and I got the newsletter popped up in there.
Yeah, and so people know, like, BJJ Weekly, it's a website, yes, but BJJ Weekly is really it's a weekly newsletter. Now, the newsletter didn't go out this Monday. I've been dealing with this bulging disc for 18 days, and I can barely sit in front of my computer for longer than 15 minutes. So we had I just couldn't get it together, this week. But BJJ Weekly, it hits your inbox every Monday, and all it is it's really great grappling information and all the content we create. So we develop all the content we send to you. So if you're doing jiu-jitsu and you want to learn and have a really good resource, BJJ Weekly is the resource, the newsletter. Everybody thinks like, oh, it's just videos. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely videos. That's the core of our newsletter. But we always have articles, in the newsletter on healthy living, on lifestyle. We have all sorts of contributors that write articles. So, the newsletter contains all the content. And then the website, we put the content on, but usually it's not for like a week or two later. You get to see like the articles and the videos on the website. So it's not just videos, guys. It's a whole newsletter full of information. So yeah, I forgot which question was. I kind of went on a rant there.
Like the new website too. I think it's just been this year you redid it. Looks really sharp, much better. It's like really easy to navigate through, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. No, that was a labor of love. It took a lot of time and money to make that website happen. So
yeah. So yourself, BJJ Weekly, the Origin. I mean, talk about this immersion camp. There's an Origin gi. I mean, I was tempted to go just to get this gi, just so you know.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do just for you guys too? I made a note to say this. I ran a promotion up until the July 15th, and it was if you sign up for the immersion camp, before the 15th, you would get a limited edition Origin gi and backpack. We had a bunch of people sign up, but it's kind of that is over, that promotion. But if somebody's listening and they want to get in on the immersion camp, it's up here in Maine. It's August 28th. We're going to come in the evening, meet and greet, and then August 29th. August 29th, August 30th, August 31st is all-day training. There'll be breaks throughout the day. You can swim. It's going to be on a beautiful lake up here in Maine and at Camp Laurel. It's like where all the celebrities send their kids. Like all the celebrities send their kids to this camp in Maine every summer. And I got like 5 days secured with the owner of the camp to have my little BJJ camp there. So that's pretty cool. All the kids will have left. So we'll kind of have the camp to ourselves, but. So it's August, coming on the 28th in the evening or afternoon evening, 29th, 30th, 31st train, and then leave on the 1st. I'm sure some people will leave on the in the evening of the 31st because I think the Montreal Open, it's only 5 hours away, so I'm sure some people are going to want to kick up there and hit that, that night. But yeah, man, it's going to be gi, BJJ. The Deco is headlining it, and Formiga is headlining it. Formiga is an insane company, and if I got to choose another guy who just, like, the first time I rolled with him, absolutely kicked the snot out of me, Formiga. Like, that guy's jiu-jitsu's off the hook. He's been on the podium 3 times at the Worlds. He won like every Open, IBJJF Open last year, like Boston Open, at New York, like Chicago. I think I can't remember all of them. There's a time when he did like the Arizona, won the Open, beat like Clark Gracie, Smoke, all these different guys. He's really good. And also, so if you guys want to go to this camp and you're listening to this podcast, just mention to me in an email, that you heard this on the BJJ Addict, and I'll allow you, access to that same promotion I had up until July 15th with the gi and backpack. But you gotta tell me you heard this on BJJ Addict.
There we go. Thanks.
So yeah,
this emergence camp is going to be huge. This is for, actually, I had some people ask me in person. Now, this is for all levels, men and women?
Yeah, men and women, all levels. We have a bunch of women signed up. We have a bunch of guys signed up. And here's something I'm working on. A couple friends of mine, Mackenzie Dern and Augusta Tanquino Mendez, I'm working on bringing them up for the camp, too. So hopefully they're going to be there. Now, that's not set in stone. I'll find out tonight or tomorrow. They're trying to clear their schedule to make it up here for the camp. So hopefully Mackenzie, she's super popular right now. And when I saw all these women signing up, I was like, shit, we gotta try to get a woman in here, to really speak their language. And Tanquino, of course, he's the guy that beats the Mendez, right? He's a guy's a nasty athlete, great jiu-jitsu competitor. So hopefully they'll be at the camp. I'll know more tomorrow. Look for posts on Facebook or whatever on that. So
either way, the two names you named plus yourself, I think people are already spoiled. Plus now with them being able to get this gi, the backpack, like you said, like this is nuts already. So if you got those,
it's crazy. It's kind of like I'm trying to basically be like, you can't turn this down. Like you can't turn this down. This is gonna be awesome. Like, I want to make this first camp for us. Last year we had that hurricane come through and we had to cancel the camp. So I want to make this first camp completely, ridiculous. I don't even care about like making a profit on it, man. I just want to make this camp a super success and people to have a blast at it and just do jiu-jitsu, man. That's what it's all about. So.
It's a great attitude. But, the more we talk about it, it sounds like those infomercials, like, order now and you'll get sick.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I'm just 100% transparent. You can ask me about anything and I will tell you. It's just my style. So, it's just being honest, like that's what we're doing. And if you want to get in on it, do it. We'll have a good time doing it. So.
Can they go once again just so they can sign up for this camp? Because I know once they hear about it, see the video, it's a lock. They're gonna do it.
Yeah, it's the link's kind of long, but if you go to like originbjj.com, just go to originbjj.com and click on the first link in the blog, and that'll direct you to the camp. I did shot a little video just talking about the camp and. There's going to be more black belts there too. There's going to be a bunch of black belts, helping out and training, and the atmosphere is going to be like, just a family, like tight knit, family atmosphere. We're going to train, guys. If they want to train hard, they can train hard. If they want to train easy, they want to flow, they can flow. It's just going to be like a non-competitive atmosphere. It's funny. I want to kind of like bring the atmosphere from Abu Dhabi, except that was a competitive atmosphere. But in Abu Dhabi, there was like this little room with all these Swain mats or zebra mats stuffed into the room, and everybody from every affiliation school was training. Like everybody was training with everybody. It's just like everybody's just getting better. No egos, nothing. And I want to bring that type of atmosphere to this camp. Just on a lesser scale, you know what I mean? That's a bunch of world-class athletes. This is just a bunch of different BJJ enthusiasts from different schools, different affiliations coming together for the greater good, to learn. And also I wanted people to be able to connect with the experts, on a personal level. I don't want just people coming in and the experts not knowing their names. And, I want them to create relationships with these experts, real relationships. Like sitting around a campfire, listening to stories and shooting the shit with each other. That's what I'm looking to do. It's like summer camp when you were a kid. That's what we're trying to create here. So
I thought it was a great idea when I saw it. You mentioned, actually you didn't mention it. I'm going to mention it real quick. Are you going to the IBJJF in Boston by any chance on the August 28th? Oh, you can't, eh?
Yeah. It's on 25th. It's the 25th, right? The Boston Open?
25th, yes.
It's the 25th. Yeah, man, I will definitely, if my back is healed within the next week or two, I have to get my strength and conditioning coach back in, making me puke every day, and back to getting down to Boston to train every week and Portland to train every week. So if my back is healed, I'll be there, and that'll be my first competition as a black belt. So,
all right, I'm going to be there, by the way, with some of my teammates. So I'm going to swing by and personally introduce myself and say hi.
Absolutely, and then after that, on the 28th, you're going to come up to the camp, right? And we're gonna have a good time up there.
Some things, man, like a mariachi here. I'm going to have to do something.
Yeah, you got to figure something out, man. So, absolutely.
My last question for you before anything. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given? for jiu-jitsu?
Let me think about that for a sec, man. I've never. Oh man, shoot. The best piece of advice I've ever been given for jiu-jitsu, I'll tell you, this is going to sound a little bit odd, but it'll make sense when I'm done. I have been given so much good advice, but the one thing that sticks out in my head, and don't go hurting your buddies at the dojo, all right, like, or your academy, wherever you train. I was shooting my first issue of BJJ Weekly with the co-founder Bill Thomas, and shout out to him. He's got a new supplement company he's launched. It's called Q5combat.com. Some real good stuff. Check it out. And another one of my training partners and very good friends, Rick Weber. We were down. We were shooting Alexei Cruz for BJJ Weekly. And after we shot the video, we had this grand idea of starting this newsletter, yada, yada, yada. We're all just giddy with it. And so we were training after. And I was training, I was a purple belt. I was training with a blue belt. And we were just training. And, and I don't, really ever try to, submit anybody per se. I'll get the submission. And then, I call it, catch and release. Right, so catch and release. So I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to release it, and we're going to continue rolling. So I'm playing and I grab a choke, and then we're training, and I let it go. And Alexei and I have known Alexei for a long time, and we were friends before. We've been friends for a long time, and I let it go, and he's just he's right to the point. Pete, I'm like, what? He's like, what the hell are you doing, man? I'm like, well, I'm rolling. He's like, no. He's like, why did you let that go? That submission go? I said, just catch and release. I just grab the submission. I know I got it, and let it go. He goes, how do you know you got it? And I said, I'm thinking I probably got it. He goes, he's like, how do you know? He's like, and what he said to me is like, you need to finish so if you have it, you need to finish it, because if you get into a bad habit of going for a submission and letting it go, you're not going to be, you get into a competition, you're in the heat of the competition. How are you going to you need to train your mind and your body, right? So you need to train your mind and your body, and do that in your training in the school. So if you're training yourself to let the submission go, well, then you're going to be weak at submitting the person in a competition. So now, I never let submissions go. If I have a submission, and it doesn't mean you're going to rip somebody's arm off. You can apply a slow, technical, tight submission, and that's usually what I do because I outweigh most people, But I don't let submissions go anymore. Ever since he reamed me, I love when Alexei reams me. He reamed me out about that, and he makes a point to do it in front of everybody, So that was probably one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten. Really transformed my competition game, really was a start to me being really training to compete. You train to compete, you submit the guy you're training against. You don't just, hey, I got you, okay, let it go. No, you submit him, he tries to fight out of it, you submit him, with control. So.
Nice. Last question. It to do with what you just said, it's tied in with competing. I just competed this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I did not do anything that I can do. I didn't do one leg drag.
Yeah.
I didn't do one step from guard. That's supposed to be a strong spot of mine. I get very tunnel vision. If I want to pass to the right, I'm so concerned with going to the right. I never think about going to the left. It might be an easier pass. How do you get away from this mental block, or because I'm trying to train and do it in the school. I just can't reflect on the mats right now.
Right. You're like a rock star, on the mat when you're training, right, at your school. You're like a rock star, and then you get in a competition, it kind of falls apart on you. Is kind of what you're saying.
Jagger and Aerosmith merged together on the mats in my school. Right.
Okay. So everybody goes through that. It's I even struggle with. I mean, everybody struggles with that. It's experience. That's all it is. It's all it is experience. Think about it. Did you play any sports in high school or college or anything?
Yeah, I played sports when I was younger, yeah.
Okay, what sport did you play?
Hockey. We're Canadian.
Hockey, of course. Hey, man, I'm from Maine. We got the Black Bears. You know, there's a great hockey team up here. You know, hockey, all right? So you played hockey. You go to hockey practice, right? You have scrimmages. You know, you probably practice every day of the week. And then you probably had games like twice a week or something, you know? Yeah. Okay, you're competing twice a week. All right, think about jiu-jitsu now. How often do you compete?
Yeah, maybe like twice a month or once a month or once every months.
Yeah, like monthly, you know, maybe once a month.
Yeah.
You know, you're stepping into something your mind and body, you know, it's just not used to, you know, and you need to, and this is what I found out this year. I went through a hardening process. All right. It was like a couple of my students, like, man, like they look at me and they're like, what the hell happened to you? Like, I went through this hardening process where you physically, mentally, emotionally, you change and you become a competitor. All right. And that happens through like experience. And if you stop competing, you'll lose that. You'll get soft. You know, it's kind of like the Marines, you know, in the United States. They're tough because, you know, like they rough it, you know, they're, you know, whatever, they're jarheads, you know, they rough it and they're hardened. They harden themselves. And the type of training they do harden. Well, it's the same thing. You have to go through a hardening process, and that happens with competing a lot. You know, until you get comfortable, where you can enter competition and literally you're into your game. Right, and you get into your game, but that doesn't happen without experience. You know, Tanquino, Augusto Mendez. You guys familiar with Tanquino?
Yes.
He's the man. He before he won every competition 2 years ago. The year before, he had like lost in every quarterfinal, and you know what happened was he wasn't, you know, and this is I heard from Formiga. They're both on Soul Fighters, right? They started Soul Fighters, the team Soul Fighters. You know, he basically he wasn't competing like he trained, and once that switch flipped, he started kicking everybody's ass. You know, because you need to compete like you train, but you need to harden yourself to be able to do that. So you know, everybody experiences it. It just comes with time, and the more comfortable you are, you know. One thing I heard you guys say you did an interview with Keenan Cornelius.
Correct.
Okay, I spent a lot of time with Keenan in Abu Dhabi. Had a lot of good conversations. You know, he's a young kid, you know, and he's full of it. He's ready. You know, I asked Keenan, I was like, man, so like, what's your goals for for BJJ or BJJ? You know, what do you want to do with it? And he looked me straight in the eyes, just as serious. He goes, I want to be the best black belt ever. He wants to be, and he meant it. And that kid is going to do everything in his power. But that kid's mind is so strong. His kid's mind is so strong. We rolled towards the end of the week. The kid's phenomenal. Like he caught me like a bunch of times. You know, like we weren't training super hard, but you know, it was you know, the kid is phenomenal. But he's so mentally strong. He switched that flip. And I don't really see him losing anytime soon, to be honest with you. At brown belt, I don't see him, you know, get to black belt. You know, it's a whole different thing. But like, I don't see that kid losing. Like he's gonna win. You know, and I'm not gonna say he has the best technique in the world. You know, I bet there's purple belts out there that have just as good technique, are just as talented, if not more talented than Keenan. But Keenan, he has a strength. His mind is so strong, you know, he's not going to quit, he's not going to lose, and you're not going to beat him mentally. So how are you going to beat him? You know, like, and when you go into competitions, you're going to fight somebody that has that, man. That's going to be a tough fight for you. It's going to be a real tough fight.
That was good. It makes me feel a little bit better, and I just got to keep competing. I guess that's the answer.
Yeah, man, just, you know, keep competing. And there's a lot of sports psychology books out. Like do we got to wrap up quick here, guys, or can I talk a little bit more?
Or no, never.
Yeah. Okay. I have my strength and conditioning coach also does my sports psychology. We do like different, like meditations to like calm me down so I don't have an adrenaline dump before a match. I mean, I was even doing like stupid shit. Like, he's like, okay, we're going to shoot a picture of my academy. Cause cause my thing is if someone steps in my academy, I feel like I can compete with anybody in the world. I honestly do, and that may sound arrogant, but I feel like I can compete with anybody in the world if they're in my school. So it's like, okay, shoot a picture of my academy and hold that in front of my face. The other thing I did for the World Pro is the Deco recorded a message for me that I listened to before I compete. All right, so these things, these are things you can do to be comfortable, to bring yourself back to where you are at your best. Right? There's a lot of strategies. And as you compete, you can kind of like these techniques will filter off till you can turn it on and you're in the mode. You literally can turn it on like a switch and be like, I'm ready to go. You're gonna have a hard time beating me today. And so if you really want to become a world-class competitor, and I think anybody can become a world-class competitor. I don't care how athletic you are. I think anybody can, if they're willing to sacrifice. And so, yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do to make yourself have a strong mind, strong body. So
I like those. Those are cool little tips I've never heard before, to tell you the truth. I've heard a lot of things. I've never heard the pictures and the recorded message. It's a cool thing to hear.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Last thing, running a business or getting a black belt, what's harder?
Man, shoot. Getting a black belt. Running a business just comes easy to me. It's just in my genetic makeup. But getting a black belt is a challenge, man. It's in BJJ, getting a black belt in BJJ, and I really want to differentiate that from other martial arts. I think it's the most respected black belt in martial arts. Some people. It takes them, I know people that have taken them 15 years to get a black belt. 15 years, man. And what I like to say is a black belt, is your doctorate, right? So if you break the belts down to like, bachelor's, master's, you get your doctorate, it's like, you can break that down, you get a black belt, it's like going to college for 8 years to become a doctor. I mean, literally, a lot of guys are getting it in 7 years to 10 years now. So it's like becoming a doctor, getting your black belt. And how much time a doctor puts into their craft of studying. It's the same thing with BJJ, man. It's a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of effort. So
how many years did it take you, by the way?
5.5.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, 5.5. So
that's great.
I'm for me, like, I took to it naturally, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I kind of, I was a natural, I'm a real good athlete, and I just took to Jiu-Jitsu, and I feel like I understand it really well. And, so yeah, and that's all going to depend on, also how quickly you absorb the information. I can watch something. I could watch a technique on YouTube. I could go to a tournament and use that technique 5 times. And I don't even have to practice it. But that's me. I have guys who I train. My students. Like, I have to show them a technique. Like 15, 20 times until they understand. How it works, and they still don't have it. They still have to drill it, 1,000 times to get it. And it's just people absorb it at different rates. So,
well, that's amazing. Congratulations on that black belt once again. Last words, Pete, before we let you go. Anything you want to say? Shout out sponsors. I guess all your companies. That might take 10 minutes to name them all, but go.
Yeah. Shout out Gaspari Nutrition. They're actually outside of Origin and BJJ Weekly, they actually do sponsor me. The cool thing about Gaspari, is the guy that makes all their formulations for all their products. He does BJJ. So every time he formulates a product, all he's thinking about is like what's going to make him better for training. So Gaspari, you see him out there now sponsoring like Romulo and Kira, Ronda Rousey, a bunch of different people, but they're gonna make an impact in the BJJ supplement industry, because they're out there doing it. Also shout out to obviously my professor Dedeco, and another one of my teachers and good friends Alexei Cruz, and of course my wife Amanda for dealing with all my crazy shit. Other than that, check out OriginBJJ.com. Learn about more about what I'm trying to do for the BJJ community, and BJJWeekly.com. It's just a free resource. It's a labor of love. It's just something I put out there, to provide great information. I wish I had this resource when I started, man. If I had this resource when I started, that would have been phenomenal. So that's it, man. And God, obviously.
And it was awesome talking jiu-jitsu with you, well, especially BJJ. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Any more final questions, or are we going to cut off?
We're going to cut it off, man. This is the longest podcast we've ever done, by the way. So that's a testament to the knowledge you have and what you have to offer. So
I appreciate it. Or maybe I'm just long-winded.
Yeah. Quite man, but I enjoy your businesses. So.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon.
All right, Pete. We'll keep in touch.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
So, man, that was good. Just hold on here, guys, when I take a sip of my iced coffee. I will not say who it's from. We'll plug anyone out there. You make iced coffees, you want to sponsor the BJJ Addict radio show and hook us up, then I will say what iced coffee it is. Until then, nameless iced coffee. Delicious. Could be anyone's. Could be your company. Hit us up. All right, Jer. Thanks for being my my co-host. I don't even like the co part no more. Just like I want you. It's co meaning like you're also the host.
Yeah.
But co-host seems second rate compared to me.
Yeah.
I feel like we're equals. You came on here. You've done your dues. Like every week, I've given you a stripe, and I feel like we're just equals now. There's no more differentiation. So Jer also co-host. Thanks for doing this again.
No, thank you, sir.
Next week, we'll be back with another killer episode. And do you wanna do like a signature sign off here?
Yeah, I think so.
You want to do it? You can say it.
You want to do it together?
No, you can say it. I like it.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. This was probably one of my favorite podcasts.
Me too.
Full of information.
I like it, man.
So until next time, you guys know the drill. Hang tight,
dudes.
Dudes.
All right, thanks, man.